78% of enterprises running traditional managed services are burning budget on reactive firefighting instead of predictive problem solving. That number comes from a 2025 Gartner study. And the executives who still haven't moved their operations stack are about to watch their competitors pull decisively ahead. The reinvention isn't coming. It's already here. Let's be direct about what's happening in your operations right now. Your managed service provider is probably good at what they do. They respond to tickets. They patch systems, they keep the lights on. But they're still operating on a 1990s model. A human sees an alert. A human logs in. A human applies a fix. Meanwhile, your infrastructure generates thousands of signals every hour that nobody's actually watching. Your competition isn't dealing with this problem anymore. In 2025, enterprises that adopted AIOps infrastructure reduced their mean time to resolution by 67%. According to IDC research, that's not a marginal gain. That's a fundamental restructuring of how operations work. And if your team isn't there yet, you're not just behind. You're leaking money. You're leaking efficiency. You're leaking talent because your best engineers are trapped doing work machines should have been doing 3 years ago. In the next 8 minutes, we're going to walk through exactly how automation and artificial intelligence are fundamentally rewriting the managed services playbook. We're not talking about hype. We're talking about operational frameworks that are live right now in Fortune 500 companies, regional powerhouses across Singapore and Southeast Asia, and mid-market leaders who saw the shift coming and moved fast. You'll understand the 3 architectural pillars that separate legacy MSPs from next-generation operations. You'll see exactly how this changes your budget allocation. You'll walk away with a clear-eyed view of what your organization needs to do in 2026 to stay competitive. And most importantly, you'll understand why this isn't optional anymore. It's foundational. First pillar: predictive intelligence replacing reactive response. This is the biggest mindset shift. Traditional managed services operate on alert-driven models. Something breaks, you get paged. You fix it. That's the entire operating system. AIOps flips this completely. The infrastructure becomes self-aware. Anomalies aren't detected after they cause outages. They're caught in the drift stage, before impact. According to McKinsey's 2026 operations report, enterprises deploying AI-driven monitoring reduced unplanned downtime by 71%. That's massive. Here's a real example. Take Grab, the Southeast Asian super app. They process millions of transactions per day across multiple markets. In 2024 and 2025, they migrated from traditional incident management to an AIOps platform that uses machine learning models trained on their historical incident data. The system now flags anomalies in payment processing latency, driver availability algorithms, and customer matching services before users experience degradation. What took a human team 3 hours to diagnose now takes the system 3 minutes. And the human team? They're not replaced. They're elevated. They're handling strategic optimization instead of emergency response. For your organization, the application is straightforward. Start with your highest volume services. Identify which 20% of your infrastructure generates 80% of your incidents. Map those dependencies. Feed those historical patterns into a machine learning model. Let it learn what normal looks like for your environment. Within 90 days, you'll start seeing alerts shift from reactive to predictive. The second pillar is actually more powerful but often overlooked. Autonomous remediation. This is where AIOps stops being a monitoring tool and becomes an operational agent. The system doesn't just tell you a problem exists. It fixes defined categories of problems without human intervention. According to recent Deloitte research from 2025, organizations using autonomous remediation handled 43% of their incidents without human ticket creation. Think about that. Nearly half of your operational burden vanishes. It's not that humans are removed. It's that the system handles the routine. A database connection pool is exhausted. The system rebalances load automatically and logs the action. A cache server is failing. The system removes it from the pool and triggers a restart. Memory utilization drifts into warning territory across a cluster. The system initiates graceful redistribution. These aren't hypothetical scenarios. They're the actual use cases running right now. We saw this firsthand with a multinational financial services company operating across India, Singapore, and Australia. They implemented an autonomous remediation layer on top of their cloud infrastructure in early 2025. Within 6 months, their ticket volume dropped by 39%. But their SLA compliance actually improved, because the system was faster and more consistent than human response. Their operations team, which was drowning in repetitive tasks, suddenly had capacity to work on architecture, to optimize, to plan. The application for you is this. Audit your incident logs from the past 12 months. Categorize every incident that was resolved by applying the same fix. Those are your automation candidates. Those are the routines you should be programming into your AIOps layer right now. The third pillar is continuous learning and adaptation. This is crucial because your infrastructure isn't static. It changes. Code bases evolve. User behavior shifts. Seasonal patterns emerge. Legacy managed services can't adapt in real time. AIOP systems do. They're built on continuous retraining cycles. Your models get smarter every week as they process new operational data. A 2026 report from the World Economic Forum highlighted that enterprises using continuous learning models in their infrastructure management increased their capacity utilization by 34% while simultaneously reducing costs. That's the compounding effect of intelligence. Here's what this looks like in practice. A major e-commerce platform operating across Southeast Asia implemented a continuous learning AIOps framework in MID 2025. They process massive traffic variation between weekday and weekend patterns, seasonal festivals in different regions, and irregular spikes during sales campaigns. The system learned these patterns over 4 months. Now it doesn't just respond to load spikes. It anticipates them. It proactively scales infrastructure in the hours before predicted demand peaks. It reduces capacity during predicted troughs. The platform reduced infrastructure costs by 28% while improving response times during peak traffic. That's impossible with static rules. That's only possible with a system that learns continuously from real operational data. For your organization, the implementation step is this. Define what success looks like for your most critical services. Not in terms of uptime, but in terms of actual business outcomes. If you're running an e-commerce platform, success is conversion rate during traffic spikes. If you're running SaaS infrastructure, success is login latency during onboarding surges. Feed that business metric into your AIOps model as the learning objective. Make the system optimize for business outcome, not just technical metrics. That changes everything. Now imagine your operations function 18 months from now. Your infrastructure is running on AIOps. 70% of incidents are resolved autonomously before they impact users. The remaining 30% that require human judgment are being worked on by your best engineers, not your most junior team members. You've eliminated the operational triage layer entirely. Your mean time to resolution has dropped by more than half. Your infrastructure costs have declined because the system has gotten ruthlessly efficient about resource allocation. You're not paying for excess capacity that never gets used. You're dynamically provisioning based on real-time demand. Your team has shifted completely. They're not on call for emergency response. They're working on architectural innovation, database optimization, security hardening, strategic infrastructure planning. Your operations team members who used to take 50 incident tickets per week are now driving projects that improve the business. That's not theoretical. That's operational reality for organizations that made this shift in 2024 and 2025. And the talent implications are immediate. Engineers want to build. They don't want to get paged at 2 in the morning to reboot a service. When you move to AIOps, you become an employer that engineers actually want to work for. If this framework resonates with you, there's a critical next step. You need to understand how to actually build your AIOps roadmap. Not the vendor pitch version, the real version. In our next video, we're breaking down the exact assessment framework that C-suite leaders in Singapore and across Asia Pacific are using to evaluate whether their organizations are ready for AIOps migration. We're showing you the 3 critical questions that determine if you need a new MSP partner or if your current infrastructure can be retrofitted. We're walking you through the capital allocation strategy so you know exactly how much this costs and when you'll see payback. And we're giving you the vendor evaluation checklist that cuts through the marketing. That video comes out next week. Subscribe to Apex Minds now so you don't miss it. Leave a comment below if you. Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to Apex Minds D4J for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.